Missed opportunities lead to a series loss, and now the Diamondbacks will welcome in the first place Los Angeles Dodgers for the first battle between NL West foes. Welcome into the Thursday edition of the Lunch Break here on KDUS AM 1060, streaming on the KDUS AM 1060 app. You can also watch the show on our Twitter and YouTube accounts if you want to get involved with the video portion of the program. We've got it all here for you. Glad that you are a part of the program today. We got producer Evan behind the glass pushing all the buttons. He's got you at 480-864-1060 if you want to call into the program. We have a lot of baseball to discuss from yesterday, and we will get you ready for a 4-game series that starts tonight between the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. And even though it is May 8th, we are very early into this baseball season, but you feel like the energy level for a series like this is turned up a little bit. You're excited. You're looking forward to see where this team stacks up with the Dodgers, so we'll get you ready for that as well. But before we can turn the page to tonight, we have to break down what happened yesterday.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
It was a pitcher's duel yesterday through the first 6 innings for Merrill Kelly and Kodai Senga. But it should not have been a pitcher's duel on one side of the ledger. The story of this one, missed opportunities for the Arizona Diamondbacks, specifically in the first 3 innings of this game. They had Kodai Senga and the New York Mets backed up against the ropes, and they could not land that knockout punch. They couldn't even draw blood. They couldn't land a small shot to maybe knock the Mets down. The first 3 innings are where this game was lost for the Arizona Diamondbacks, because in those first 3 innings, Kodai Senga walked 5 guys, a career high for the Mets starter. And the Diamondbacks could not take advantage of first inning traffic, second inning traffic, and third inning traffic on the base paths. Couldn't do it. The first inning, Corbin Carroll gets a leadoff walk. You draw it up, the ideal way for a game to start. What happens? Corbin Carroll gets thrown out trying to steal second base. No runs get scored. The second inning, you get more base traffic. Suarez walks. Alek Thomas doubles. The Mets put together an excellent relay throw to beat Suarez at the plate. And I know that some of the managerial and coaching decisions from this game generated a lot of post-game conversation yesterday. I did not have a problem in real time, and now with the benefit of hindsight, with the Diamondbacks' decision to send Eugenio Suarez. You watch that relay back now the day after. It took a perfect relay throw to get that ball to home plate to get Suarez. If any part of that is bobbled a little bit or there's any little bit of hesitation, Suarez scores pretty easily. So you had a first inning base runner get thrown out. You had a second inning base runner get thrown out. And now it leads to the decision that I think everybody is still talking about today, and that is the decision to bunt with Geraldo Perdomo in the bottom of the third inning. The first 2 guys get on. Herrera draws a walk. Carroll draws a walk. You have first and second. You have nobody out. And you have Geraldo Perdomo, your number 2 hitter, up to bat in a huge run-scoring opportunity. Merrill Kelly's dealing. The Mets don't have an answer for him right now. And there is a decision made by Torey Lovullo. He said after the game that decision came from him to bunt with your number 2 hitter with Geraldo Perdomo. Now, this is hard for me. It's hard for me because I'm the anti-bunt guy. I think giving away free outs is a terrible baseball decision. I'm new school. I'm analytically driven in that way. I very rarely like the idea or concept of a bunt. There are fringe cases where I think it's okay. I think I've shared this opinion before, but extra innings with the new runner on second base rule, if I get to the bottom part of the inning and it's a tie game and I only need to score that runner from second base, you betcha depending on who the hitter is, but if I'm in the bottom part of my lineup, you betcha I'm going to lay down that bunt to get that runner to third with less than 2 outs, where a sacrifice fly I know guarantees me the victory. But that is a fringe case where I think bunting can be okay. Most other times, I'm anti-bunt. I'm anti-bunt in this case too. I'm anti-bunt for a lot of reasons. Kodai Senga couldn't throw strikes for the first 3 innings of this game. Career high in walks, 3 innings in. Not even 3 innings in, because he hadn't completed the third when he walked his 5th batter. Hasn't been able to throw strikes the entire game. Why are you going to gift him a get-out-of-jail-free card? Why are you going to gift him a free out? Because that's what you're doing in that spot. So that's reason number 1 why I don't like the bunt. Reason number 2 I don't like the bunt is you're playing small ball in the 3rd inning of a baseball game. This isn't a 0-0 game in the 7th or 8th. This isn't a 1-run game in the late innings. This is a 0-0 game in the 3rd inning. You've got an eternity of baseball left in front of you. I know Merrill Kelly had been pitching really well up until that point. Have you watched your bullpen recently? 1 run's not going to be good enough most days to win right now. So that's reason number 2 I don't like the bunt. I don't like bunting and giving a pitcher who clearly lacked his command a free out. I don't like bunting in the 3rd inning of a tie baseball game. And the other reason why I don't like bunting is it's your number 2 hitter. If you don't trust Geraldo Perdomo enough to not hit into a double play in that spot, why is he your number 2 hitter? Why is he the guy that's going to hit when Corbin Carroll is on base? Now, in fairness to Torrey, I thought he gave a good explanation for why he made the decision that he made. It was well thought out. He clearly had a plan. I just disagree with the plan. He talked about getting a lead and being able to use his positive role relievers instead of needing to turn to his negative role relievers. It's the 3rd inning of a 9-inning baseball game. We're not even a third of the way home yet. I get you have to think a couple moves ahead. I think you overthought that, Torrey. I think that was an overthought moment yesterday. You give a guy a free out, and by the way, because the bunt's not well placed, Luis Torrens gets to throw out the lead runner at third base, a double play, and you squander an opportunity with 2 men on and nobody out, and the heart of your order up. 2, 3, and 4 due up after the first 2 guys get on with a walk, and you hand the Mets an out yesterday. I'm the anti-bunt guy almost all the time. So it's hard for me to not just default to that position, but there's no way that I can look at that decision yesterday and say it was a good one. It's the 3rd inning. Kodai Senga couldn't throw strikes. And you had your number 2 hitter, the guy that's supposed to be able to drive in Corbin Carroll when he gets on base. You asked that guy to bunt. I just thought across the board, it was a bad decision yesterday. It was overthinking. You just let him swing. Let him swing away. I thought they overthought it yesterday in that moment.
My biggest thing is obviously the free out part. Obviously, he's hitting number 2, but that's your chance for a big inning. That is, for an offense that really had struggled against Kodai Senga in the first start and wasn't getting much this start. You have a chance in the 3rd inning. We have 2 on and nobody out. And this is and a guy who can't really find the zone, and this is your chance. This is where you break across. This is where you're able to steal a series against the Mets, and you gave him a free out. And to play devil's advocate on the bunt thing is, had you had 2nd and 3rd, you don't roll into the double play.
I'm going to add to what you just said. The previous at bat where Corbin Carroll drew the walk. He went down 2-0, Senga did to Carroll. He got a strike over. The next 2 pitches were balls. So a 5-pitch at bat, 4 of them were balls. The first pitch to Perdomo was a ball. Even if you put the bunt on in that spot, I'm immediately taking it off. 1-0, I'm taking the bunt out of play. I'm going to make him throw me a strike. And then if you want to put the bunt back on one more time to try it, again, I don't bunt in that spot.
But if he gets to 1-1, then maybe you put it back on.
Maybe you put it back on.
But it would have been 2-0. Because that pitch wasn't a strike.
So now it's 2-0, and Torrey said afterwards if it was 2-0, he was going to take it off completely. So why did you go up there? It felt like it was a predetermined thing before you even saw what was going to happen with the Senga at-bat to Perdomo, that you already decided when he walked up there, we're bunting in this spot. That you saw the moment Corbin Carroll was walking to first base, it was like, okay, we're bunting here. Not reading the situation of he had just thrown 4 of the last 5 pitches were balls, and then he starts the at-bat with a ball. That would have been my moment of clarity of, you know what, take it off. You know what? I'm not bunting in this spot. I'm taking it off. I'm going to let him swing away.
I'm not swinging until I see a strike.
I'm making him throw me a strike. And so it just felt like the moment that the Mets got out of that jam yesterday, you knew the result of the game. You knew the way that game was going to go at that point. Merrill Kelly did an excellent job giving the Diamondbacks a chance to win, but they squandered opportunities in the first, second, and third innings. We could talk about the offense overall, not producing a whole lot in this game, but you get thrown out stealing in the first, you get thrown out at home in the second, and then you make that decision to bunt in the third. I would classify all 3 of those as self-inflicted wounds yesterday. You can't have those. We talked about this baseball team. They are not good enough right now to overcome that. There's a chance to put up a crooked number in the third inning against Kodai Senga, knock him out of this game. Remember, last week, you drove up his pitch count. You got him out of the game in the 4th inning when you played this team at Citi Field last week. And then yesterday, you're doing it again. You're working counts, 5 walks. I don't understand why the bunt was put on in that spot. I heard what Torey Lovello said after the game. I hear his methodology. I just can't agree with it in the 3rd inning of a baseball game, especially with your number 2 hitter. If you don't trust Perdomo in that spot, if you don't trust him to swing away and avoid hitting into a double play, then why is he your number 2 hitter?
It's the same philosophy as we talk about in the 10th inning when you need one. It's the 3rd inning.
3rd inning.
And so the play there isn't 1 run.
There's 18 more outs you're going to have to get after scoring that 1 run.
1 run means nothing. It virtually means nothing against this Mets team. And Merrill Kelly, who has had some great starts this year, 1 run's not enough. Not with this bullpen, not with against that team in that situation. So why bunt? It just doesn't make sense to me in that spot. Had they been in the 9th, down 1, okay, bunt. Okay, that's fine. Let's bunt. We need 1 to continue this game. Then you have a runner on second too. But that's not the situation.
As we got later and later into the game, what Torey was saying I think applies more. I can't apply his logic of picking the 2 paths with his relievers in the 3rd inning of a baseball game. It's a 3rd inning. You have no idea what's going to happen but by the time you need to get to either your positive role or negative role relievers. I'm sorry, it's too early to start thinking about that, or at least thinking about it to a point where you put that decision into play. And here's why this is so important. Because you know what the ramifications are of losing that game yesterday? Do you know what the ramifications are of losing that series to the Mets? You now split the season series with them. They won 3, you won 3. You don't have that tiebreaker. And we saw last year the difference and the importance of tiebreakers when it comes down to the National League wildcard race. You've got a team right now, as they start to play the Dodgers tonight. They walk into into Chase Field tonight, playing the Dodgers 6 games back of them. You're not catching that team right now, not with the way you're currently playing. So it's wild card or bust, at least at this point of the season on May 8th. You've now thrown away the tiebreaker that you could have had if you won yesterday. You would have had the tiebreaker over the Mets. So if they faltered, if they slipped back in the NL East and they were in a wild card race with you, you now have the tiebreaker over them, not after yesterday. It's now going to need to be another tiebreaker if you're going to be in front of them. So you're going to need to tally up as many tiebreakers as you can over the teams you think you might be competing with down the stretch. And yesterday, you handed away. You gave it away, a tiebreaker. You didn't give it to the Mets. You just let it slip through your fingers. That's the ramifications of a game in May. That's the ramifications of losing 2 out of 3 at home to the Mets and giving away that tiebreaker.
You know what people are going to tell me, Chris? You want to say it or you want me to say it?
You can say it.
It's early. It's early.
We're 20% of the way through the season. 23% of the way through the season after their game yesterday. So, yes, technically it's early. We're not past the halfway point, but boy, are we getting closer and closer to where that is no longer an excuse, where that is no longer something that we can say about this baseball team, especially when we're going to preview later on today a series with the Dodgers. You going to say it's early if they lose 3 out of 4? Oh, it's early. Don't worry. 8 games back of the Dodgers. Oh, it's early. Don't worry. You can't throw away games like they did yesterday. And I'm sorry, put that on the list. I know we're keeping the list. Put that one on the list. I think Torey gave that game away. I think that decision to bunt in the 3rd inning cost them in a big way. They had Senga, they had the Mets on the ropes, and they gifted them a way out. Gifted them a way out with that bunt decision.